The way I look at cancer is spiritual, as we've discussed. And then again, there's so much emotional cancer that we
Ugh.
have control over, not inviting, not tolerating, not being in agreement with or putting up with, right?
Yeah.
And I think, I never called cancer my cancer, ever. I had
Aha.
a diagnosis. I never identified as cancer or sick or dying, and they gave me a 5 to 10% chance to live once they found the cancer in my lymph nodes. And I was 34 at the time of being
Jeez.
diagnosed. And I
Wow.
was so healthy. I hadn't been sick for years. And then,
Wow.
with all that being said, I don't think I caused the cancer. I don't think I cured it. But I think
Right.
I have a lot to do with the emotional heart work that I did have control over. And I've had
Yeah.
6 different rapists. I've had a lot go on with my body, on my skin. And
Yeah.
so I definitely think that there was a part of my spiritual journey that had to transform my relationship with my body, that had to transform the way I was loving me. And before cancer, I was super achievement focused. And it was almost like I was trying to earn the right to take up space.
Yes.
And it was very much like proving energy that I was living in day in and day out. And it was never enough, however much
Yeah.
I accomplished, however much I succeeded. And so for me, for sure, there was something about my skin and my relationship to my body. But it was also very clear to me once the cancer journey began that I had done so much healing. I had already next leveled my identity on a lot of levels and
Nice.
become a Rebeccah I was proud of, but I was still so achievement focused. So for me, cancer was this opportunity. I'll never forget God like whispering in my ear, literally, Grace, and saying, okay, who are you going to be now? It's easy to be the best of you when you have a thriving business, a great next marriage, a healthy kid, you're pregnant again, you're a pillar of your community. Who are you going to be now? I think life goes our way and then life doesn't. And that has nothing to do with us. I think it's just life being life. And then we
Absolutely.
decide who we're going to be. And so for me with cancer, I got to decide who I was going to be. And
Yeah.
for all of you gorgeous listeners, you're not a statistic and you get to decide who you're going to be. And I highly freaking recommend you do not identify as cancer or as sick or dying, regardless of what.
Never. Yeah. Never.
I chose to live because
Yes.
I'm either going to commit in a way where I'm living to die and listening to what they're telling me. They were saying to my husband, to me, we have to plan your funeral. Like you need to get ready. Like it was that aggressive and it was that life threatening. And, I'm like, I can live like I'm going to live, or I can live like I'm dying. And
Yeah.
I burned the option of I'm going to die, very aware that I
Yes.
could. I was in so
Mhm.
much pain, emotionally, spiritually, physically. And I really wanted to give up as much as I wanted to live. But this commitment to life, it kept me going. And I
Yeah.
lived like I was
I
going
agree.
to live. And I made sure my choices were in the direction of life. And I've
Of life.
coached countless clients through cancer since going through it myself. And it seems like this commitment to life is the biggest gift you can give yourself. And to know nobody can take away how real you are, how powerful you are. Your spirit is so much stronger and so much more resilient than cancer. And cancer is a part of our journey, and we can get spiritual lessons from it. But I highly encourage all of you to live like you're going to live and to burn the option of dying with all the awareness in the world. This is not me being toxic positivity princess. Yeah, you can,
No, not at all.
but
No.
it's bigger than you. And you don't get to say, right? And then there's a spiritual text, A Course in Miracles, that has my favorite quote. And it is, nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. And I was like, listen, there's nothing more real than my spirit. And so
Yeah.
I'm going to give it to spirit, to God. And no, I may or may not live, but I'm going to live like I'm going to live. You don't need breakdown to break through.
Right.
You
Yeah.
don't need to wait for a crisis
Yeah.
to freaking live your life. So if you can hear this show today and you can hear that message and run with it, it gives me chills. I just feel like I have to say, you
Yes.
don't need to wait for life to get worse or force your hand to choose to fully live. Just choose it now. I would just show up every day for the infusions. And, I really did take a one day at a time approach. And for me, I'm the emotional healing coach. I teach there's only 5 emotions. Everything else is our feelings about what's going on and how we learn to cope. So, anger, fear, grief, joy, excitement.
Mm.
Fear, grief, joy, excitement. I would scream when I needed to scream,
Mm-hmm.
I needed to cry, shake when I needed to shake, laugh when I could, and even getting chemo infusions. I would just be with my emotions and know like that's the one thing I have control over. And then I really got good. The other massive way chemo impacted me was I had suicidal ideation, which was a
Oh,
side
wow.
had me on. And I had been suicidal and clinically depressed and almost hospitalized
Yeah.
in my 20s and my teens. Like I knew what that felt like. And I knew when it was coming from me, not my highest self, my survival self. And this was different. I knew like these are chemicals and I can't buy what they're selling me.
Yeah.
And so it was a wild ride to have this like full on commitment to life. And then I had these voices in my head trying to convince me to just give up simultaneously. So I would just focus on the emotions and my commitment to life. And not only did I have a holistic healer assigned to my bed every day, I had a support person from my inner circle
Yeah.
assigned to every day of the week. Like for Monday, I had someone, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, etc. So
Beautiful.
I had someone checking in with me every single day, and I let them know I may or may not answer the phone because I may not be able to, or willing to, or interested in talking. But because I was really in like a cancer coma for a year, but just knowing like people were there checking on me was really, really important and really helpful as well.
Absolutely. You don't feel so alone in this journey when you have people supporting you. So how did your emotions evolve throughout your journey?
I mean, this is the time in my life where I understood what I had been trying to teach for years prior. And I really recognized joy and excitement get to be the rule I live by, not the exception. And I can be the best of me even now. And I just remember thinking, if I can master the art of being emotionally clear and the best of me and trusting myself and trusting God in this moment, nothing will ever be able to threaten me ever again. And this is
Absolutely.
what happened. I became someone I know, I love, I trust, and I'm safe with. And for me, and find whatever it is for you, source, universe, whatever it is that makes the sun rise and set. I'm not going to tell you what it is for you. But for me, it was God. And I was like, yeah, my whole life is going to be a co creation with God from here on out.
Yeah.
What a miracle. And that's what it's been. Self care before cancer didn't even exist. I was working 7 days a week, coaching 10 clients a day on the
Crazy.
hour with no breaks, with no food. And I
Wow.
glorified it. I was like, I am making a difference. I get to
Yep.
matter. I found a way to be of value. And so, come cancer, now my life has evolved from, and this is my message for all of you, let yourself graduate from achievement paradigms to alignment paradigms, right?
Thank you.
I went from trying to fit in to I got to create a life that fits in with me. And I'll never forget the moment where I realized, holy shit, it actually worked. I'm going to make it. I was standing in my kitchen. It was raining outside in upstate New York, and I'm looking out the window, and I realized I was going to live. And I was so depressed and I was grieving. I wanted life to go back to what it
To
was.
what it was, right? But then it's like, that's kind of the unhealed overachiever paradigm
Well, and
that,
that was the mixed bag, right? Because I'm like,
yes.
wait a minute. All I want is to go back. And then actually, none of me wants to go back.
Yeah.
But now there's like this blank canvas and all this space. And like, what am I going to do? So that was the moment I realized, okay, my job is to create a life that fits in with me, and
Yes.
to focus on alignment and to stay this aligned, because that was what cancer gave me the gift of, was like knowing what it felt like to be in alignment with my soul and God, and
Yes.
there's nothing to figure out, and just let myself be shown. When I wrote my book, Coming Back to Life, A Roadmap to Heal from Pain to Create the Life You Want, I plugged in. I literally listened to Lil Wayne radio and would get a hotel room 3 days at a time. And I would just write and I just let it flow through. And, that feeling is magic, because there's not a right or a wrong way to heal or live,
Nope.
or love or lead. There's what works for you. And I think that's the most important message from our conversation today, above all else, is like, let's
Yes.
help you find your North Star, your direction, your way.
100%. And I think if we're aligned with our purpose, everything falls into place.
I cry tears of joy every day.
Oh,
I do. I think there's victim tears. I think there's grieving tears. And I
yes.
think there's tears of joy. And there's not a day that goes by that I don't cry tears of joy. I get
Yes.
to meet beautiful people like you. I get to talk with beautiful communities like yours and this gorgeous audience. It'll make me cry right now. I am so honored to still be alive and to get to witness
Yes.
people's greatness and to get to support them in coming back to life without breakdown. Or if you're
Yes.
in the middle of a breakdown, we deal with it, because nothing is more powerful than you. And so now, life after cancer, I do an emotional cancer cleanse constantly on myself. I process the emotions that need to be processed. And then I really look at, I'm responsible for how I'm living, what I'm choosing, who I'm engaging with, where my energy goes. Is it healthy for me? And I
Yes.
have had to let go of relationships since cancer I never expected to. Best friends, mentors, but it wasn't healthy for me anymore.